bed is made. The lamp is on, the one with the soft yellow glow you've always liked. The hallway is quiet. The sink is empty, and the door is locked. Everything's in its place. It should be peaceful, but somehow it isn't. You lie there, eyes open, listening, not to any particular sound, but to the absence of it. The silence doesn't comfort you like it used to. It echoes, fills the room with something heavier than noise. It's not fear exactly, not worry. You're safe. You know that, but still, you don't sleep. You shift. You turn. You sigh quietly, hoping this time your body will listen and let go. But the minutes stretch on, sometimes the hours, and all you can hear is the gentle hum of the refrigerator in the other room or the distant tick of the old wall clock. You try to close your eyes, but your thoughts feel louder than the quiet. Did I take the garbage out today? Why did my hip feel stiff after dinner? I wonder what the weather will be like tomorrow. I should call Sarah back. Maybe I'll do that in the morning. And then your mind, ever so gently, drifts to places you didn't invite it to go. The memories of nights when this bed was shared, with a spouse who used to breathe softly beside you, or with the sounds of children whispering down the hallway. The echo of voices, laughter, footsteps, all gone now, replaced by stillness. Not sadness, necessarily, just stillness. And somehow, in that stillness, sleep doesn't come easily. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. And I don't mean that in the social media encouragement kind of way. I mean it in the realest, softest sense. You are truly not alone in this experience. Thousands, no millions, of older adults across the country are lying awake just like you tonight, with beds that feel too big, rooms that feel too quiet, and hearts that are a little too full of memories when they're just trying to rest. You've lived a full life. You've raised others, helped others, taken care of things for years. But now, at night, when all that quiets down, no one teaches you how to sleep when it's just you and the dark. And yet, sleep is still your right. Peace is still yours to claim, even when the house is silent, even when no one else is home. In this video, we're not going to promise magic fixes. We're not going to hand you a bottle of pills or recite clinical jargon. Instead, we're going to walk gently through the spaces that keep you awake. We'll talk about the little things you can do, not to force sleep, but to invite it, not to chase silence away, but to soften it. Because sleep isn't just about closing your eyes. It's about feeling safe enough, warm enough, loved enough, even when you're alone. And you are loved, still, right here. So take a deep breath. You've already done the hardest part. You've made it through another day. Let's find a way to let the night hold you. Not with noise, not with worry, but with calm. In the next part, we'll explore why sleep becomes harder with age, especially when we live alone, and how understanding that can make all the difference. If you've ever wondered, why does sleep seem to slip further away the older I get? You're not imagining it. There's a reason why the nights feel longer, why the pillow doesn't feel quite as soft, and why your body, despite feeling tired all day, refuses to drift off when it finally can. And it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means something very normal is happening. Something we just don't talk about enough. You see, as we age, our bodies slowly stop producing as much melatonin, that natural sleep hormone that once came rushing in every night like a gentle wave. In our younger years, it would whisper to the body, "It's time to rest." But now, that whisper is quieter. Sometimes it barely speaks at all. Our internal clock, the circadian rhythm, also begins to shift. You may have noticed you get sleepy earlier in the evening, but then find yourself wide awake by 2 or 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling while the rest of the world sleeps on. That rhythm you could once rely on, it's changed its tune. Then there's the aches, the little ones that creep in after dinner, the stiffness that builds through the day. Even the best mattress can't quite erase the whisper of your hip or the gentle throb of your knees. But there's something else, too. Something quieter and far more powerful. Loneliness. You might not call it that. Maybe you've gotten used to the quiet. Maybe you even enjoy it most of the time. But at night, when the television's off, when no one's calling, when even the dog is curled up at your feet and gone silent, you feel it. That space in the bed where someone used to be. That second pillow that never gets used. That silence that doesn't feel peaceful, but empty. Living alone changes the shape of sleep. Because sleep isn't just physical, it's emotional, and whether we admit it or not. So many of us grew used to falling asleep beside someone, not just for love, but for safety. Someone to say goodnight. Someone whose breathing kept the darkness from feeling too deep. When that disappears, sleep changes. It's no longer something we fall into. It's something we have to build again, gently, patiently, and with great kindness toward ourselves. So if you've been blaming yourself for not sleeping right, if you've been lying awake thinking, I should be stronger than this, stop. You're not broken. You're human. You've lived long enough to know what absence feels like. And your body remembers, even if you don't speak it aloud. But here's the beautiful truth. Just as sleep once came naturally, it can come again, in a new way, a gentler way. You just need to create the right invitations. In the next part, we'll explore the first of those invitations, how sound and light can quietly make you feel not alone. Because sometimes it's not about filling the room with people. It's about surrounding yourself with presence. Have you ever noticed how silence isn't always quiet? There's a certain kind of silence that doesn't soothe. It presses in, the kind that feels like a presence missing, not a noise gone. A silence that isn't empty, but echoing. And in the middle of the night, it can feel deafening. That's because sleep isn't just about silence. It's about security. It's about feeling like the world is still holding you, even when no one else is in the room. Years ago, maybe you fell asleep to the sound of your spouse's breath, or the low hum of the TV in the other room. Maybe it was the creak of the floorboards above, the clink of someone washing the last dish, or the soft click of a light switch as someone else turned in for the night. Those sounds said, you're not alone. They were ordinary, but comforting. And now they're gone. But that doesn't mean you can't replace them. Not with people necessarily, but with gentle reminders that the world is still warm, still turning, still there with you. Let's start with sound. Try playing natural ambient sounds. Soft rain falling on leaves, distant ocean waves, the rhythmic thrum of a train on tracks. Not loud, not sharp, just something that mimics the gentle background of a house that once had more life in it. Some people like classical music at very low volume. Strings only, nothing dramatic. Others prefer audiobooks or bedtime podcasts with soft-voiced narrators who speak slowly, like old friends telling gentle stories by the fireplace. There are even audio recordings made specifically for sleep, some that mimic the rise and fall of breathing, giving your body a rhythm to follow. You'd be surprised how deeply the brain responds to the presence of another voice, even a recorded one. Now let's talk light. The body needs darkness to sleep, but it also needs warmth. Instead of a harsh overhead light, try a small bedside lamp with a soft amber or golden glow. Avoid anything too white or blue. Those colors wake the brain. But a warm light, it signals safety. It says, you can relax now. Some seniors place a salt lamp in the corner of the room, just enough glow to soften the shadows. Others use a dim hallway light, so that the house feels gently lit, not hollow. And if you want to go one step further, choose a light that feels familiar. Maybe it's a lamp that used to sit in the living room, or a night light you remember from years ago. Something that brings not just illumination, but memory, because that's what you're truly building here. Not just a quiet space, but a space that feels alive, even in its stillness. A space that says, you're still home. You don't need someone in the bed to sleep well. You just need to feel that the room isn't forgetting you, that you are still seen, still heard, still wrapped in something warm and real. In the next part, we'll explore the power of rituals, those small, comforting routines you can create before bed to signal to your body and spirit. You've done enough today. Now let go, because when the world outside is quiet, you need something inside to speak peace. Some people think bedtime is just a part of the day when you turn off the lights and hope for the best. But you and I both know sleep doesn't work that way. Not when you're older, not when you live alone. Not when your mind still carries the weight of everything you did today and everything you didn't get to. That's where ritual comes in. Not the kind you have to learn from a book. Not something complicated or spiritual, unless you want it to be, but something personal, gentle, repeated, a way of saying to your body, we've done enough, we can stop now. Think about it like this. When you were younger, you probably had rituals without even realizing it. Tucking the kids in, turning off the porch light, washing the last dish of the evening, checking the door lock with that familiar click. That pattern, its signal closure. It gave your body a rhythm. You can have that again. Even now, even just for you. Let's build one together. Start with a cup of something warm. Not coffee. Not anything too sweet. Just a simple herbal tea. Chamomile, peppermint, or even warm water with lemon and honey. Don't rush it. Let the steam rise. Wrap both hands around the mug like it's something precious. Because it's a signal. It tells your nervous system, we're slowing down. Then move into something still but meaningful. Maybe you open a book, just one chapter. Maybe an old one you've read before, something where you already know how it ends, so your mind can wander softly. Or maybe you write, not a journal, not a diary, just a page, a sentence or two about the day, what made you smile, what you wish had been different, or just, I made it through. That's enough. You can also light a small candle. Sit for a moment and watch the flame. Let your thoughts flicker with it. No pressure to solve anything. Just sit, breathe, exist. And when you're ready, there's one more step. One that may sound small, but isn't. Say goodnight to yourself. Out loud if you want to, or just in your mind. Good night, dear one. You did well today. It may feel strange at first, but you'll be surprised how powerful it becomes. Because when you live alone, you don't stop needing kindness. You just learn to offer it to yourself. Over time, these rituals become like music to your body, each note familiar, each step a cue, and eventually the mind begins to follow. Not every night will be perfect, but many nights will be softer, and some, maybe even tonight, will surprise you at how quickly you drift away. In the next part, we'll talk about the place where all this ends up, your bed, and how to make that space feel less like an empty room and more like a sanctuary, because where you sleep matters. But how you feel about where you sleep, that matters even more. There's something tender about the way we approach a bed when we're older. It's not just a mattress and pillows. It's a space filled with memory. Some nights, it's where you find comfort. Other nights, it's where you feel the most alone. You may not say out loud, but you know what I mean. There was a time, maybe long ago, maybe not, when that bed held more than just your body. It held conversation, held warmth, held the steady rhythm of someone else breathing beside you. And now, when you lie down, the silence feels louder. The space beside you untouched. The blanket too smooth. But here's something you might not hear often enough. The bed is still yours, not just as furniture, but as a place of care. A space not to remind you of what's missing, but to honor what remains. Let's start with something simple. Make it inviting again. Not for anyone else, just for you. Choose sheets that feel good against your skin, not stiff or scratchy, but soft, worn in. Maybe cotton, maybe flannel in the colder months. Use a pillow that actually supports your neck, not the old one that's lost its shape, but one that says, I want you to rest well tonight. And if you can, add something personal. Maybe it's a small quilt someone made for you. Maybe a pillowcase with a scent you love, lavender, cedar, a hint of clean linen. Maybe even a photo nearby, not to mourn the past, but to feel surrounded by love. Some people place a book on the nightstand that makes them feel less alone. Others place a rosary or a keepsake from a loved one. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that when you look at it, something inside you softens. Now, about how you get into bed. Don't collapse into it. Arrive at it. Let that final act of the day feel ceremonial. Turn down the blanket like a gentle gesture. Sit at the edge. Maybe stretch a little. Feel your body. Thank it for carrying you. Slide under the covers as if you're returning to something that knows you. Because your bed isn't just a resting place. It's a part of your story. It's seen your laughter, your pain, your quiet mornings, and your restless nights. But it can still be a place of peace, of healing, of you. So tonight, treat it that way. Treat your bed like a friend who never left. And you may find sleep returns like 1, 2. In the next part, we'll explore something you may not have tried before. A practice both simple and powerful. Writing a letter, not to anyone else, but to yourself. Because sometimes, what keeps us awake at night isn't the silence in the room. It's the silence in our hearts. There's a moment late at night when the world goes completely still. You can feel it. The traffic dies down. The neighbors' lights go dark. Even the refrigerator seems to hum a little softer. And in that stillness, your thoughts get louder. They don't always shout. Sometimes they whisper, "I wish I had said more. I miss her voice. Why didn't I hold his hand that last day? Did I do enough?" These thoughts don't come because you're weak. They come because you've lived long, you've loved long, and in love, there are always things left unsaid. So here's something I invite you to try, not as a fix, but as a kindness. Write a letter, not a perfect one, not one with clever words or careful grammar, just a letter. It can be to someone who's no longer here, to a spouse, a sibling, a parent, a friend, someone who once said goodnight and now feels so far away. Or it can be to yourself, to the version of you from 10 years ago, to the one who survived a difficult winter, to the one who still shows up every morning, even when the nights feel long. You don't have to write pages, just a few lines. Tell them what you miss, what you remember, what you're still carrying. Tell them what you never got to say. You can start simple. "Dear John, I've been sleeping alone for 6 years now, but I still reach for your side of the bed. Dear me, I saw your eyes in the mirror today, and I want you to know I'm proud of you. Dear Mom, I still remember how your voice sounded when you said, 'Sleep well.' I hope you know I'm still trying." And after you write it, you can keep it, or fold it and tuck it in a drawer, or read it aloud to the quiet, or tear it into pieces and let it go. It doesn't matter what you do with it. What matters is what it does for you. Because unspoken words are like knots in the chest. And when you write them, even if no one hears, you begin to breathe a little easier. And sometimes, just sometimes, that's all your body needs to fall asleep. Not silence, not perfection. Just a heart that feels heard even by itself. In the next part, we'll talk about the daytime. Yes, the part before the sun sets. Because the truth is, peaceful nights are built during the day. And the more connection and light you invite into your waking hours, the easier becomes to rest when night finally comes. We often think sleep is something that begins at bedtime. But the truth is, it begins much earlier. Long before you pull back the covers. Long before you turn out the lamp. Sleep begins in the daylight, in how we live, how we move, and most importantly, how we connect. When you live alone, it's easy to slip into quiet habits. A morning coffee by the same window, meals eaten in silence, a TV that plays in the background, more out of habit than interest. It doesn't feel lonely at first, just quiet, but over time that quiet builds until it follows you into bed. And so, one of the most unexpected but powerful ways to sleep better at night is to bring more life into your day. I don't mean overwhelming your calendar or forcing small talk. I mean simple moments of connection, little sparks that remind you you're still part of something. Maybe it's a call to your daughter, even just to say hello. Maybe it's chatting with the cashier at the grocery store a few seconds longer than usual. Maybe it's sitting outside for a few minutes, waving to neighbors as they pass by, or joining a group, in person or online, where people your age gather just to talk, to listen, to laugh about something ordinary. The point isn't how many people you talk to. It's that you feel seen, even once a day, even for 5 minutes. Because when your heart feels connected during the day, it doesn't wander so much at night. It doesn't reach into the dark, trying to find something it missed. It simply rests. You might also consider adding purpose to your daylight hours. It doesn't have to be grand. Water a plant, sorrow photographs, write a letter, even if you don't send it, knit, pray, Cook something small and beautiful, just for you. These little acts, they don't just fill time, they anchor you. And the more anchored you feel when the sun is up, the more grounded you'll feel when the moon takes its place. So tomorrow, open your blinds. Let the light in. Let a little noise in. Let a little life in. Because sleep doesn't just come when the world goes quiet. It comes when you felt, even just a little, like you belong to something today. In the final part of this journey, we'll bring everything together. A gentle reminder that sleep isn't just a goal. It's a gift you still deserve. And even if you're the only one turning down the sheets at night, you are never truly alone in this quiet, beautiful act of rest. Sleep is not a reward for hard work. It's not something you have to earn by being productive or busy or endlessly helpful. Sleep is your right, as human as breathing, as holy as prayer, and yes, as beautiful now as it ever was. You may no longer fall asleep like you did in your 30s. Head hits the pillow, out like a light. You may need more patience now, more gentleness, more care, but that doesn't mean you've lost the ability to rest. It means the way you rest has changed, because you've changed. And that's not something to fight. That's something to honor. Because here's the truth, whether anyone's told you lately or not, you have made it through every long night before this one. You survived loss, silence, worry, and winter. And still, here you are, still showing up, still trying, still laying your head down, hoping for peace, still believing in morning, and that kind of faith deserves rest. So tonight, when you pull the covers up, don't think of the empty space beside you. Think of the space you hold, in the world, in your story, in the quiet strength of simply being you. You are not forgotten. You are not less than. You are not invisible when the lights go out. You are a whole life, a whole heart, still beating, still worthy. So take one last breath. Feel the way your chest rises, steady, slow, alive. And say this, even if only in your mind. I've done enough today. I am enough today. I let the night carry me. Because no matter your age, your pace, or your past, you are still allowed to rest, still allowed to soften, still allowed to be held, even if it's just by the quiet. So, sleep well tonight, friend. You're not alone, not here, not ever.